Dana Martin, the outgoing senior warden at St. Mary's Episcopal Church in Arlington, Virginia. The Episcopal Church has long been active in supporting refugees. Episcopal Migration Ministries have helped to resettle more than 100,000 refugees over the past 40 years. Through its newly created Neighbor to Neighbor program, Episcopal Migration Ministries directly trains and provides ongoing support to faith communities who serve as community sponsors for refugees and asylum seekers in partnership with the Sponsor Circle program created by the Biden administration. Community sponsors welcome their new neighbors by offering friendship, fostering community connections, and providing practical support with housing, accessing services, navigating the community, enrolling children in school, learning English, and securing employment, among others. St. Mary's has long been a welcoming church with a strong commitment to serving our neighbors. We were delighted to be invited by St. John's Lafayette Square and All Souls Church in DC to join them in a Tri-Parish partnership to become an officially sanctioned sponsor circle for Afghan refugee resettlement. St. John's and All Souls both have experience with refugee resettlement and were very helpful in bringing St. Mary's into this ministry. St. Mary's, in turn, has brought to this ministry its local knowledge and deep connections with the Arlington safety net. The Tri-Parish partnership has been a richly rewarding experience for everyone involved, truly full of blessings. I'm pleased to be joined today by the other two representatives of St. Mary's on the Tri-Parish Steering Committee, Patty Hammond and Anne Marie Darris. Thank you for being here today. It is now my pleasure to introduce Reverend Andrew Merrow, who will be hosting this afternoon's discussion with the husband and father of the Afghan family of 5 who has so graciously welcomed our Tri-Parish Sponsor Circle to accompany them as they forge a new life in a world so distant and different from their own home in Kabul. Father Andrew has served as rector here at St. Mary's for the past 37 years. On June 5th, our parish will be celebrating his 40th anniversary of ordained ministry. Father Andrew is dearly loved by St. Mary's, and I might add, beyond by the many people and organizations that he has worked with. He is well known throughout Arlington and the Virginia Diocese and speaks for our church in a variety of regional, civic, and nonprofit organizations and represents St. Mary's in state, national, and international organizations connected to the Episcopal Church and the Anglican Communion, such as the Compass Rose Society, Virginia Theological Seminary, and Virginians Organized for Interfaith Community Engagement. Thank you, Father Andrew, and I'll turn this over to you.
Thank you so much, Dana. This is such a wonderful opportunity to be reminded that there's just one human family under God. And we are so grateful to have a small role in welcoming you and your family to the United States. So, on behalf of the 3 parishes, thank you, and let's just get started. First question, tell us a little bit about your family.
So I'm a family of 5, so like three children, 1 boy, 2 girls, and a wife. So we are now living in Arlington, Virginia. So we are happy. We are happy to stay and to live in here in the United States.
That's wonderful. And one of your children is already in school?
Yeah, one of my children is he's in kindergarten, and my daughter is in the next year in September. She got admission for the pre-K. So yeah.
Wow, they'll be helping you with your English before you know it. They'll just soak it up.
And also I just recently started my class for the English improvement. So I'm attending the class every day, so like 9 to 12, so I'm happy. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, because obviously, certainly I've never been to Afghanistan, and I suspect that most of the people watching have never been to that part of God's creation. So tell us a little bit what living in Kabul was like and what life in Afghanistan was like for you and your family growing up and with your...
Well, life was a little bit harder to be in Afghanistan, like always, like as you know, the insecurity of the people, all the time, like it's never been safe like others days. So like some problems having in Kabul and Afghanistan. So it was just like good to working, but not be safe like before. Like for now, after that collapse, so it was very difficult when we grew up. Like we were in our province, like Panjshir province, when we came to the city, from hometown to city, and we lived city about more than 17 years. So we grew up in the city. We born in the hometowns, but we grew up in the city with all our family members. Like we live in the house with my family, with about 8 brothers, 8 sisters. Like my 5 brothers married, 4 brothers included me. So the other 3, 4 sisters, they are married, living with their husbands. So we all together live together in one house in Kabul.
Wow, well that's a very different way than
one house, yeah.
We Americans live. I think there's something to be said for the way you do it, though.
Yeah, I heard some of the people when asking me about this, say, wow, you are living in one house. Say, in Kabul, just the family is like living like that. So with all family members just in one house, all together with the parents, with everything. Yeah.
And when did you become aware that you had to get out of Kabul?
Actually, we had a background of working with the U.S. Army. We just started. My brother just started. My big brother, he just started as an English translator. About when the first time the visitors coming to the from United States from journalists from other countries to coverage of some of the about 2005, I think. He was just starting translating. Then he built up a company, his own company. Then I started working with him with the U.S. Army about 2007. I was just as an office logistic officer with the projects inside the base with the U.S. Army, like Bagram, like Black Horse, Camp Black Horse, and Camp Marmal, which is all the bases of U.S. Army in Afghanistan. And we actually, our background was like we work with the U.S. Army, we work with the U.S. government, so that's why we realized that we are not safe in here to live in Afghanistan because of our background. So if anyone knows about that we work with the U.S. Army, just recently we moved out from Kabul, then it will be hard to stay. They will targeting these people who supporting U.S. government. So that's why.
So we certainly saw on the news just how chaotic and frightening it was trying to get out of Kabul. So tell us how that unfolded for you.
When the Kabul collapse on 16 August, we tried with my family to go out went to the airport 3 times. Like for the crowded people and too much people, we couldn't make it because of, as you saw the news, it's totally horrible to get ourselves. It's like too many people died during the crowded people inside. Outside the airport. As you know, the other thing happened like a bomb blast. Something happened, and after that we stay in our home and hide ourselves to be secure in home. So we realized after the 13th, the evacuation completed. So we realized to get out from Afghanistan on 30 September after the last flight of the Air Force just left the Kabul, Afghanistan. The U.S. government. So when they left Afghanistan, we feel.
That must have been an awful feeling when the last flight
left. The last flight about 2 a.m. We saw
it.
the picture that the last picture was the last U.S. Army just lifted Afghanistan. Was just totally it's horrible for the all of it.
So how did you actually get out of Afghanistan?
When we realized that when the evacuation completed and the last flight is gone, so we said we live here more because now there's no U.S. troops, so we feel very insecure because the enemies like captured all the power and everything. So they started targeting the people who really support, like other people telling that these guys this family worked with the U.S. Army before, they just going through the house and getting them out. So then we realized these things started from other location. We heard the news, these people starting these things to getting to the people's house, who searching over the house for finding some papers. And when these things happen, we burned all documents. We have some other documents with the U.S. Army's pictures, everything. We just burned out everything. Then on 19 September, we realized to get out from Afghanistan. And we did that with our families. We left our homes, with all the furnished things. We just ourselves with some small luggages, with a 2 van, and about 2 a.m. night. So we just left Afghanistan. And we came by route to the border of Pakistan. We reached ourselves. There was too many checkposts. They stopped us. They just looked at us and asking for where they are going, these enemies. So starting us, tried to search us, but we have families like a woman said. They just allow us to go. They didn't too much to look out of the other things. So say, okay, go. Then we reach ourselves to border of Pakistan. We have visas. Then we cross the border, and we finally reached to Peshawar, Afghanistan. And then we started to tell the embassy that we are around in Pakistan to please assist us and to get immigrate from Pakistan to Afghanistan. And my supervisor and others, like I know them, I worked with them before, and they totally support me, support my big brother and myself together. And they jointly emailed the embassy and said they are in Pakistan. We need your support. We need your assist to these people, families. They are struggling, and they need your support to get out to get a flight to come to the to immigrate to the United States. And fortunately, we are thankful from God and from the U.S. government. They provide us the charter flight on 16 November. Yeah, then we moved to Qatar. And we moved to Qatar with my family all together, with other Afghan peoples, like this flight and everything organized by the U.S. government, the charter flight, everything. Then we arrived to Qatar on 16 November. This was a U.S. Army base, Camp Celia. It's called Camp Celia. And we was there with all other Afghans, like it's a big base. And everything was very good on our like force and everything. They support us. They support a lot of people like us. So we are very happy. And we was there about on 27 December. We got a flight that the government sent us an invitation to each of the room of the people who's inside the base. I mean, they're living. There's just like a warehouses, some connexes. Like it was for their militaries, and they just took it to the families of Afghan families to live there. They bring us the invitation and say, you have a flight on 27 December 2021 to United States. And we fortunately get that flight, and we came 27 December to Fort Dix, New Jersey, through to Philadelphia Airport. And they gave us a parolee stamp visa for now for being to enter to the United States. So for the entry. And we was in the Fort Dix on on 15 February. We was there in the tent, and the tent they bring us in the tent, and it was very good. On those days the weather was very cold, but inside the tent was very hot. They take care of everything. And inside the tent was the partition for all family members, like for 7 people, different rooms. And then we been there on the tent about 15 days. Then we moved to I request them to move me to the building because of a little bit noisy for my kids. Then they move us to the buildings, and we stayed there. The room was very good. The food and everything was in place in order. So everything was very nice to be there. And on 15 February, and fortunately we arrived in Virginia, Arlington, and we first met with Patty and Bob, and Sheila. All the sponsor circle people supporting us, and they came to get us on in Arlington, Virginia. We arrived. Yeah.
And we are very grateful that you're here.
Thanks so much. Thank you for that.
Now, earlier you just spontaneously thanked God as you were talking, and that's what Christians do as well. We're supposed to thank God because God is in the middle of everything. So how's it been being, with people that you didn't know, of a different faith, who embraced you and your family? Where does God fit into this story?
So this is like I just said before, I work with the U.S. Army. I've been with them. I know their faiths on to supporting people, and I'm a little bit familiar with them, with the people of this. And when we come and see the peoples in here, the faiths in supporting the humanity and anything, so that's a great experience and great things.
Well, part of why I'm kind of probing a little bit on that is that sometimes in America, Islam is not portrayed, I think, fairly. And the idea that all of us who love God are finally part of the human family, I'm just so grateful that your family is part of the family of these 3 congregations now, who just want to love you and support you and do everything we can. So I don't know how I would do reversing roles going to Afghanistan and not quite knowing what's going on. So I'm just curious how you're finding, now that you're actually in America and all the things you may have heard about it, but what does it feel like, or how is it?
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good to having me. So we are happy. So we are we are good to know each other people, everyone. So then we are happy actually with this thing. So we are good. So the difference. So have every religions have some differences. So, but they all just good humanity. So difference. We can say. We can judge anything, so but we are happy, so they're good. So,
well,
yeah.
We're happy, and we have a lot more in common than the differences, so that's all good. Anything you just want to say to the people who'll be watching this?
So the people who are watching this, and I'm just saying that thank you so much, especially for the people who are supporting us, and especially sponsor circle team. Embry, Andrew, Patty, and Dana, and Anne-Marie, they're together supporting us for the different ways of the educations, for the medical assistance, and for the finance, like Basley's. I'm very thankful for all these people supporting us and helping us all the time and supportive to all of us. So we are very happy and thankful for them. And I'm just telling thank you so much and thank you very much for all these things. So I'm very happy.
Well,
and we're all very happy.
Well, just know that your being in our midst has enriched our lives. And we are very grateful for your presence because it really is a relationship. And it's just caring back and forth.
Take caring. So
thank you for everything.
No, thank you for having us and here in the United States and supporting us. So we are very thankful.
We are too.
Yeah.
God bless.
God bless.